My name is Kevin, and today we're going to talk about biology. Not just biology nowadays, but it's a really mysterious biology. First, let me tell you the topic, Naegleria Fowleri. So now you know what the heck does that mean, bro. So first, let's say Naegleria Fowleri is just a normal type of bacteria. It has three forms, but usually it's flagellated type or it's trophocyte type. And the one that affects us most is the trophocyte type. Okay, so first, let me tell you where it lives. Naegleria fowleri is an amoeba which lives in areas of water that aren't clearly sanitized. Well, an amoeba is kind of like still smaller than cells or tissue, but they are larger than bacteria. Well, first I told you that it's bacteria, but that's a lie. You might think of it as bacteria, but no. Mostly they're harmless. Yeah, like the flagellated type or the other type that I'm not talking about. But there are some dangerous types that they could sneak into your brain and eat them. And that's why Naegleria fowleri often has a nickname, the brain-eating amoeba. Oh my goodness. First, for example, now you go to a really dirty pool. You jump into an unsanitized area of water, okay? So sometimes the amoeba slips into your nose and nasal cavity, which is also called your nose, for simple ways. And next, if you're unlucky, it slips into your nerve cells. Well, do you know how? First, when it comes in, it's connected to your place that it senses smell, your nerve cells. And nerves, kind of like they send out information. But there is one enzyme that's really important. That's acetylcholine. So Naegleria senses acetylcholine as food and goes straight into the olfactory nerves, leading right into the brain. Kind of like your mom hides a pizza. You can't see anything, for example, but you smell it and then you got the pizza. For example, like that. And Naegleria fowleri is just the same. And acetylcholine is also transferred in your big part of the brain too. Not only the olfactory bulb, which senses smell. So, as it goes, there are more acetylcholine up here, so then it is still attracted to it, like moths are attracted to light. Next, after from 1 to 9 days, the amoeba reaches the brain, which is also the part that senses smell, the olfactory bulb, which I just told you about. Then Naegleria started to multiply and grow large numbers due to the tissue around it. And then you know what happens. It grows many more mouths that make it look super creepy. Those are called food cups. Kind of like now you have an octopus. For example, first, if the octopus only has one suction cup on each tentacle, then if it finds so much food that it evolves, it will have about 3,600 cups like real octopuses today. That's an example. And this one is just the same. After sensing it, the body releases all defenses and attacks to defend the amoeba, like tearing the amoeba apart and exploding itself, or kind of like suicide, to release poisons of chemicals. Well, the amoeba might die because of it, but some could couldn't be affected by the poison, and they also have another treacherous attack. The amoebas defend the immune system and cut open the brain tissue, so the fluid goes all out into the brain. Yeah, just like now you have a room and there is a water pipe going into it. For example, you're so small, you're into the water pipe. But if you're in it and you cut it apart, the water floods all over the room. So after that, some really huge kind of like unwanted symptoms appear. First are just simple ones like headache or nausea. But then it could come to hallucination and fatigue. You know what's that? Kind of like your body stops working. And now is the final part. The person, if you're the one that got the party fun in the pool, then you might need it to be in a coma or even hospitality and surgery, or sometimes even die before hospitality comes. So that's how
Hospital. You mean hospital? The doctors?
Hospitality treatment.
Oh, medical treatment?
Yes.
Oh.
So, as you know, these amoebas grow up and thrive. So, first, some people got affected by this, and scientists got this into dishes and put them under microscopes. And under them, they saw a really treacherous guy. First, now example. It looks like an octopus, but more of a crazy guy, a crazy octopus like that. First, there will be shelling full of podia, kind of like swimming tails, which helps it move through the fluid. Pseudopods, which are also like tentacles, but they could change everywhere, and they could also turn all the pseudopods into the body. And they could control them too. Whenever someone cuts a pseudopod, it could make a new pseudopod in seconds. And inside it, just like any cell, it has a vacuole, mitochondria, and the nucleus. So now you would be surprised to hear about the outside, which is the most creepiest thing. Okay, so now you imagine like an octopus with a tail and millions of tentacles like pseudopods going around it. First you imagine that. But now, if you look closer, there would be really creepy mouths and fruit cups. They look like alien monsters that have round mouths and large teeth, kind of like that. Now you imagine how scary it is, and you'll be more surprised to see if you saw an image for real. So, how could we treat this? Well, there's still no hospitality treatment that could be used for this. Kind of like there are no vaccines or no antibodies for this, because it's so treacherous and they haven't found anything or clues about them. So, the first way of preventing it is to to not get it in the first place? Well, as you know, Naegleria often hides in the places of water that are unsanitized clearly. So you should avoid the places that you might also get Naegleria. Or if you think you feel ill, you need to tell your doctor right away. Or if you know you have showered in mysterious kind of like unsanitized water like you think it is, then tell your doctor sooner than the first day to 9 days later. After that, it's too late. So now you know what Naegleria Fowleri means and how dangerous it is. And that's an end for our video. To see our latest and newest videos, you could see more in our channel So to Grow. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.